Hi everyone, I'm Sébastien Cross. I'm a senior product manager at Prose. I've been at Prose for the last 10 years or so, and mostly focusing on Smart CPQ and the code to revenue platform as a whole. Today I will try to make this presentation as clear as possible, but if nonetheless you have some questions, I will make sure to save a bit of time at the end of the presentation so that I can try to answer. But if we don't have enough time, you can still come and visit us at the booth of Smart CPQ, just in the Innovation Center. And I'll make sure I can do a demo and answer your questions. With that, today I'm excited to introduce our brand new selling workflow on top of the Prose platform for the subscription management. But before I start, I'd like to make sure that we are all aligned on what subscriptions are. So I don't know, I see we have an audience today. Can any of you give me an example of a subscription you are using in your everyday life?
Wall Street Journal?
Yes, Wall Street Journal is a good one. Maybe Netflix, Spotify. Okay, so all those are very good examples. And if you are here, probably it's also because your organization has a subscription for the Prose platform, right? But before I go into more details, what I'd like is to better illustrate what subscriptions are. And I'd like to start with a very simple example. So let's say I want to grow a tree. And to grow that tree, I have one seed and a limited quantity of water. The first idea I could have would be to plant the seed, to pour all the water I have on that seed, and to watch the seed consume all that water and the tree grows, sorry. Ultimately, my tree will go okay, but if it starts facing some period of drought, it will eventually end up like the tree on the right part of the screen. Now, if I take a different approach, and if I put a drip system in place, I can plant my tree and have it watered regularly, one drop at a time. Ultimately, with this approach, my tree will also grow okay. Probably I will develop better roots, and I will be in a much better shape to resist in periods of drought. And eventually I will end up like the one on the left part. And guess which one will be the best arm in case of a storm, which is by nature unpredictable? Well, that's exactly what subscriptions are. It's moving from a one-time income to a recurring revenue business, so that your economical model is strong enough to help you get through any type of crisis. Now, here is a recent quote from Mark Thomason. He's a research director for digital business models and monetization at ADC. And what he said is that as the global economy shifts toward selling ongoing services, companies will need subscription management solutions to help them intelligently manage the customer lifecycle at scale. And that's exactly what the Prose platform does. It's your solution for the subscription management. Subscription can be seen as a win-win strategy for your organization and your customer. For your business, it's a guarantee of a recurring revenue coming in every quarter, so your tree will continue to grow whatever happens. And then for your customers, they are not committed anymore to their vendor, so meaning they can go away whenever they stop getting the value they expect. Hence, the importance for you to continue to invest. And the key factor with subscription is for you to be able to renew and extend the recurring revenue, the subscription revenue, by simply continuously providing value to your customer. And by this way, you will develop better roots, and so your tree will grow bigger and faster. So let's see how you can do that in the PROS platform. So you may already be familiar with the two selling workflows that are supported today by Smart CPQ. The first one is the spot orders. So spot orders is for sales rep to negotiate or to add product and services to a quote, to negotiate their price and discount from there. And ultimately, you will do all of that for a one-time buy experience. We also support a sales agreement. So in that scenario, a sales rep are negotiating prices for all or part of your portfolio of products for a given customer or partner, with the intent to create a contract that will become the new reference for future transactions. And today, I'm excited to introduce a new workflow on top of the Smart CPQ solution, which is for the subscription management. So subscription management is about, let's say, subscribe to products and services that require a recurring revenue. So you can see that as you just have to agree with your customer on a price and a time frame that will be based on rate plan and term periods. And then the billing will happen on a regular scheduled cadence. Sorry. So there is a lot behind the notion of subscription. And usually we can split that into 5 different steps. You have the pricing and packaging, the selling of subscription product, the billing step, and then the step that consists in collecting and recognizing the revenue. With the PROS subscription solution, we mainly focus on the pricing and packaging and on the selling aspect. But the PROS subscription leverages the whole power of the PROS platform to do that. So for the pricing and packaging, you can define rate plans and charges and price the charges in Smart Price Management. And then you can do the quoting and the selling in Smart CPQ with the intent ultimately to create a subscription contract. And then at the end of that workflow, you can ultimately create, or let's say manage all the life cycle of the resulting subscription contract in the CRM. So you can create, upgrade or downgrade your subscription contract. You can renew it or terminate it. And so in that case, the CRM will be used as a source of truth for your contract. So let's see and do a deeper dive now on the pricing aspect of it. So Smart Price Management can be seen as a module that will allow to define the pricing strategy for your subscription contract, and that will also allow you to manage the subscription information that you will use in Smart CPQ. In Smart Price Management, as I said, you can define rate plans. So rate plans include the eligible renewal and termination terms. It will also include the charges. So those charges could be one-time charges, they could be recurring, or they could be usage-based. Then your pricing analyst within Smart Price Management can associate that rate plan to subscription product so that the corresponding terms are applied to your product at the time of quoting. And ultimately, they can price the charges for each combination of rate plan and product in a dedicated master price list. So let's see that in action. For this first demo, I want you to meet Priya. Priya is the pricing analyst responsible for subscription, pricing, and packaging of security solution in the product marketing team. So our company sells some security equipments like cameras or motion sensors, as well as some security plan in order for you to install those equipment and monitor your building. So let's see how Priya can leverage the PROS platform to define the pricing strategy. Okay, sorry. Okay, so our journey starts in smart price management by the definition of a rate plan. So again, the rate plan is a structure for the pricing of your subscription contract. It's defined by a name and a description. And then Priya will have to start by creating a version of that rate plan that can evolve then over time. Part of that version, she will be able to start defining the pricing strategy by selecting the renewal and cancellation terms. So for the renewal terms, for instance, she can decide that renewal is allowed at every time, or that it's restricted to only one time, and so on. And for the cancellation terms, that's where she will be able to define whether a contract can be terminated with or without penalty. Once she has selected that, then she has to choose which are the pricing levels and dimensions that will support the pricing. So for that, you will see in that example that this pricing strategy for now is just based on the product SKU dimension. But she could also have some more complex combination with the customer, the geography, or whatever dimension. And then ultimately, she will have to define the charges of that rate plan. So they could be one time, like for the installation of the equipments, for instance. It could be recurring charges for the monitoring or the maintenance of the installation. And it could be usage-based, depending on the devices that are installed. Once done, Priya just has to save that rate plan and publish it so that it's available in the system. The second step consists in choosing a security plan, in that case, existing already in the system, and to associate to it the rate plan that Priya just created. So for that, she can access a dedicated page in Smart Price Management, and she can search in the list of rate plans the one she has just created. So that's what is happening here. Yeah, and once she added that rate plan, she just has to enable it so that it's available to sales rep at the time of quoting. And the last step for this pricing part is about pricing the charges of the rate plan for each combination of rate plan and products. So in that case, we have only 2 charges and 1 security plan. So for that, Priya can decide to either adjust manually the price of each charges, or to leverage the advanced capabilities of Smart Price Management and leverage an advanced pricing method to do that. So once done, same thing, she just has to submit the prices for an approval. And once they will be approved, then she can just publish them. So as you've seen, defining the pricing strategy in Smart Price Management is only on 3 steps. So first you create the rate plan and the charges. Then you associate that rate plan with subscription product. And ultimately, you just have to price the charges for each combination of product and rate plan. So now that the pricing is completed and published, it means that the pricing strategy is available to sales rep. And so the only thing they have to do with their customer is to start creating a quote in Smart CPQ from their CRM. Once they will be within Smart CPQ, they will have all the CPQ capabilities available, meaning they can start browsing a catalog to add some products. They will be able to select the rate plan, the renewal and cancellation policies for each subscribed product in the quote. And then they will be able to negotiate the prices of the charges of those products. And the good thing is that, again, you benefit from all the pricing capabilities of the platform, meaning that you can give the charges a fixed price, or you can leverage tier pricing as well. Okay. Once this step is over in Smart CPQ, all that data can be made available back to the CRM. And that's where a customer success manager profile can start reviewing the content from the quotes and creating a contract, leveraging the PROS solution on top of the CRM. From there, the customer success manager will be able to create the contract, but also renew it at a certain period of time, update its content, or also terminate it. So for this second demo, I want you to meet Sebastian. He's an account manager working in the same company as Priya, and he's responsible for the East Coast sales region for security solution. So Sebastian has this new clinic as a customer, and he wants to sell them some security equipment as well as a security plan to monitor their building. So Sebastian will start in Microsoft Dynamics by creating a quote, leveraging the PROS managed solution in Microsoft Dynamics in that example. So we provide some code form that can be filled with a name and a reference to the customer, so the Greengrass Clinic in that case. From there, Sebastian will also have the opportunity to negotiate the contract terms. So it could be the start date and date duration, but you can also add some custom contract terms. And once done, you just have to save the quote and switch to Smart CPQ. From there, you will be able to browse the catalog and search for the right security plan for the clinic. So you can just browse the existing list and select the best one. In addition to that, you can also add some equipments in that very same quote. So for example, some sensors or some cameras. So in that case, here we are in the sensors collection. Once done, Sebastian can do a specific focus on the subscription product in the quote. And as you can see here for that security plan, he can select the rate plan. So those are the rate plans that have been defined in Smart Price Management by Priya earlier. And as you notice, anytime it changes the rate plan here, the charges are automatically refreshed. So from there, when he's settled with the right rate plan for this product, he can start negotiating discount for all the charges of that rate plan for his customer. So when he's done with that, he just has to sync back all that content back to the CRM. So that is what is happening now. And back in the CRM, on the quote object, we have a dedicated action that comes with the PROS solution, and that allows to start the workflow to create the contract within the system. So you have this action in the top menu bar here. And what it will do is that it will create some subscription contract, subscribe product, and charges object in the CRM. So all those are entities that come with the PROS solution by default. And as you will see, yeah, it's coming. So all those objects are the new source of truth for the subscription contract with that customer. Okay, so as you can see, you have the 3 types of objects available here. Then, later on, depending on the relationship with this customer, a customer success manager could come back in the CRM, open that very same contract, and start a renewal process leveraging the standard actions that comes with the PROS solution. And what happens behind the scene is that we create a new quote that will support this renewal workflow. And this new quote is initialized with the content of the initial contract. And this content is filtered on the elements that are compatible with the renewal policies that have been negotiated upfront. So all of this you will see is only subscription product. You can notice that all the standard items have not been part of the contract. So if you want to purchase them, you just have to create a different order in parallel of the subscription contract. So as you've seen in this demo, again, with Smart CPQ, that's where you can negotiate the content of your contract. And then ultimately, all the life cycle of the contract can be managed in the CRM. So if I had to summarize, I would say that the subscription workflow is a multi-team process, because as you've seen, we have the pricing analyst that has to define the pricing strategy in Smart Price Management, so meaning a mix of terms and charges there. You have the sales rep that will actually sell the subscription deal to your customers, and that can include some standard items that will be part of an order and some subscription product part of the contract. And ultimately, the customer success manager can go in the CRM to manage the life cycle of the contract. So create, amend, renew, or terminate the contract from there. The good news is that what you've seen is only the first phase of our ambitious roadmap we have for the subscription workflows. So among the subjects on which we are working, there is the integrations with the CRMs. So PROS provide an out-of-the-box integration of PROS Smart CPQ with both Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Sales and Salesforce. And we are already able to support the spot order and sales agreement scenario for both platforms. As you've seen in the demo, we are already able to support the subscription workflow in Microsoft Dynamics. And the good news is that we are close to release the support of the exact same level of functionalities. That's what you've seen in Salesforce. In parallel of that, we are also working on extending the capabilities of the PROS subscription solution so that it can address more business use cases for your organization. So namely, we are working on extending the amend capabilities of subscription contract. So you already have seen an example of what we are capable of in the CRM, but we are working on fully support the upgrade or downgrade of subscription contracts. In the same fashion, we are also working in completing the termination workflow on top of subscription contract. So you already have seen in the demo some pieces of it with the cancellation terms that you can negotiate part of your contract. And so we are just adjusting the last pieces and put them together so we can fully support the terminate workflow as well. The last part I want to mention is that we are also rationalizing this overall subscription management workflow by adding two specific features in there. The first one is the capability to do some versioning on the subscription contract. Okay, so you can, let's say, drive its life cycle over time. And we are also working on automating the management of that workflow. So we can better manage all the workflows that are possible on top of a subscription contract, meaning if you want to start an amendment or renewal or termination workflow, we will manage all those workflows properly so that you do only one at a time. In terms of timeline, you already have seen the phase one in action today. So this phase one includes all the pricing capabilities you've seen in Smart Price Management. It includes also all the contract negotiation in Smart CPQ. And ultimately, it includes all the contract management within the CRM. Okay. The good news is that the phase two has already started, and actually we are close to release it. It's about supporting the same level of capabilities within Salesforce. And so we should be able to deliver that part early this summer. And the phase three is also already in motion in the sense that we are working on completing the amend and terminate workflows for both the Dynamics and Salesforce ecosystems. And there is one last piece here that I didn't mention yet, which is the rate plan evolution. This is a part we are working on to also version the rate plans that you've seen and to make sure that we can make them evolve over time, over all the life cycle, let's say, of your relationship with your customer. So what you've seen in the demo in that area will be enhanced during the second half of this year. Okay, so with that, I'm reaching the end of the presentation.